Hello. Good morning, class. We're going to work on our math standard 2 NBTA1, which is understand that the 3 digits of a 3-digit number represents the amounts of hundreds, tens, and ones. For example, the number 706, we have 7 hundreds, 0 tens, and 6 ones. Let's read our I can statements. I can identify the ones, tens, and hundreds placed in a number value. And I can write a 3-digit number in expanded form. So let's begin. Our number for today is going to be 164. We're going to go ahead and write 164 in expanded form, or in written form. So we're going to write 164. Next, I'm going to look if it's odd or even. Remember, if I were to use different strategies, I can use my 2 strategies where you count up 2, 4, 6, 8, and those are even, or I can divide the number to see if it divides evenly. So if I divide this by 2, we know that yes, it would be an even number. It divides evenly. So this is going to be an even number. Now I'm going to represent it with blocks. I have my hundreds and my tens and my ones. So I'm going to start with 164. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, and I'm going to add my ones, which I have 4 of. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now I'm going to go ahead and write the number in expanded form. Remember, expanded form is when I'm breaking up the number for each place value. So if I look at the number 164, I know that I have 1 in the hundreds place, just like right here. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in the tens place, and I have 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 in the ones place. So for expanded form, I'm going to write 100 plus 60 plus 4. Now I'm going to add and subtract with this number, and I can do this by writing out and simply doing the 164, and then I can subtract or add 100, or I can go ahead and use my blocks here, whichever you prefer for your numbers. So I'm going to go ahead and use the blocks. If I were to add 100, I would have 100, 200, and 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 1, 2, 3, 4. So I know that I have 264. If I were to subtract 100, so go back to my original number, I take that out. And now I know that I have 0 hundreds, and I still have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in the tens, so 60, 1, 2, 3, and 4. So now I would have 64 remaining. Now if I were to add 1, I add 1 to the ones place. I would have 100, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So now I would have 165. If I were to go ahead and take my original number again and I were to subtract 1, I would have 163. So 100, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 1, 2, and 3. So I would have the number 163. Now if I were to add 10, I would have 110, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 1, 2, 3, 4, 174. That's my original number. If I were to subtract 10, now I would have 110, 20, 30, 40, 50, 1, 2, 3, 4. So 154 if I were to subtract 10. Now, of course, when you line these up, when you're doing your addition and your subtraction, please make sure that you line your numbers up. You have your ones, tens, and hundreds. It's very important. Let's go ahead and look at our next thing. If I were to put this in a dollar format, I can say I have $164, or for the sake for today, we're going to go ahead and pretend that the decimal point is between the 1 and the 6, and I have $1 and, which is my decimal, 64 cents. So I'm going to go ahead and write $1.64 right there. And remember, you can be creative. You don't have to match mine on your Jamboard. You can have a different dollar amount. So I'm going to go ahead and use the higher dollar amount. So I'm going to start with my dollar. Remember, I have quarters, dimes, nickels, and pennies. So this equals $1 or 100 cents. I have 25 cents for my quarter, 10 cents for my dime, 5 cents for my nickel, and 1 cent for the penny. So I have $1 and 25, plus 25, we learned yesterday, is 50. So $1.50 plus 10, $1.60, 1, 2, 3, and 4. $1.64. Now I'm going to go ahead and try to add 229. Once again, I can do these with my place value blocks, where I would add 229, or this time I'm going to go ahead and do it in written form so that way we can practice that too. So I'm going to take my number 229, and I'm going to line them up. 9 plus 4 is 13, or my 1. 6 plus 1 is 7, plus 2 is 9. 1 plus 2 is 3, so my final answer is 393. And once again, you can check that with your number block. My last problem says for me to go ahead and subtract 124. So I'm going to go ahead and take my next number, and I'm going to go ahead and subtract 124. So if I take 124 here, making sure I line up my ones, tens, and hundreds place. 4 minus 4 is 0. 6 minus 2 is 4. And 1 minus 0, 1 minus 1 is 0. So I have 0 in the hundreds, 4 in the tens, and 0 in the ones, which means my final answer is going to be 40. All right, class, now it's your turn to practice your number of the day.